Hello everybody, I am Red from the Send More Robots crew, and welcome back to Space Engineers. So yes, my update is a little bit late, but we're going to get right into the nitty-gritty of it, and as you can see already, there's something spectacular happening right now. So, with the coming of planets and whatnot into the world, the developers have created the rotation of the sun, which gives us the day and night cycle here, just like in Medieval Engineers when they gave us that. So you can literally see the sun is rotating, and it's easy to do in the options. They did give us a lot of new changes in the menus, and you can change it up to however you want. This is only set on a 2-minute timer, so it does a full day rotation within 2 minutes. So as you can see, this is in DirectX 11 as well, so the lighting is fantastic. And you can see it's going down. It's much more, dramatic, especially in a heavier asteroid field and everything like that. But you can see how dark it gets here. Lights have suddenly become a very big functional use, and you can see all the pretty lights and light work from everything here. Another thing you will see, actually, you can't even see it, but another thing you can experience with me right now is one of the tools that they've done, which is enable and disabling jetpacks. So right now, I am spamming the X key, and with the X key being spammed, my jetpack is not activating. I'll even show you here. Nothing's going on. So now people can play a more complicated game of Space Engineers. Oh, and here comes that sun. Right back on the rise, and you can see how much of a light difference it is. Look how cool that is. That is amazing. I really enjoy this, because you can have a really cool setting, and I will show you those settings in just a moment. But yeah, they've created the sun rotation, disabled jetpacks, and they have also given us the ability to enable and disable spawning with tools. And I'm going to go over those right now. So when you're going over the tools, you can actually see right here when you're creating a world, so it's survival or creative, whatever it is. You can see right here there's some new little boxes to be ticked. Right here, there is enable jetpack, which turns the jetpack on and off. Enable the sun rotation, which actually gives us that rotation. So you can see it says day duration, and if I click that off, I don't get anything. I cannot use this. It doesn't exactly gray out, but I can't do anything with it. So you can see that's 4 hours up to 1 whole day, down to a minute, where it just rotates super duper 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 fast, which is really cool and all. Right here we have spawn with tools. So if you're doing a survival setting or some sort of mission-based one where tools are removed, instead of having to edit the files and remove the tools from that particular one, such as with the jetpack, we can just now disable and enable it. So it's actually pretty exciting for people who are creating scenarios or anything like that, because now they have more tools in which to make those specific scenarios more exciting. I'm pretty amped about all of these little things, because I mean, it can create so many better survival series I've seen out there and everything like that, which gives me inspiration to kind of see where I can go with it. Alright, now that I've shown you that, I'll show you a couple of other new things that have come along with this update. Alright everybody, and welcome back to whatever I was doing. Here we go. Let me show you one more thing. I mean, this is really cool seeing, because you can kind of see the sun moving around. But that's not what I wanted to look at. So now they actually introduced something that was created from one of the mods originally, and it wasn't an easy install mod. You actually had to change game files. Hello. Yeah, so now they've gone to escape. You go to options, game, and right here you can see there's UI transparency, which I'll mess with that a little bit, and you can see these all blurred out and everything, so they're not quite as clear to see. And then there's the background. So now when we're actually editing, I've had this problem many times where you're messing with pistons or you're doing something with rotors and it starts to rotate and you have to exit out real quick and everything like that. But now we have the UI background transparency. So now that we have this, I mean, you push G and now you can see everything. I can see all of the stuff in the background. And I could dull this out too to actually further enhance it, which is fantastic. I really, really enjoy that. There's one other thing that I want to show you. Let me find a ship. Alright guys, so the last thing I wanted to show you is actually part of the last thing. It's the last real big thing they did for the update itself, which is actually pretty cool. It includes how stations block work once they've been disconnected. So normally when you would have a station block in the previous editions, it was still just a solid chunk. It would sit in the normal place that it was, and it just made things a little challenging. But now we have something a little more interesting. Oh, son, you're so fast. So let me see. Once I split this off, I'm going to show you. As you can see, the piece that has been split off now floats off freely into space. And that's basically gives us the voxel support, as they call it. It's a station voxel. So the thing is, this is really cool to see because, I mean, it makes space stations seem more part of the world, because instead of sitting static and being a hard, solid object like this, the station itself now floats freely out into space. And that is kind of really interesting, but it does provide a problem for people who are creating stations, like myself, in space rather than on a hard surface like an asteroid. So let me kind of showcase that for you. I kind of messed around a little bit with it, so this is what I'm talking about. So that's a station block. Let me add on to it. And so you see it's a nice solid piece, but you can actually see now. I don't think I have enough mass. Let me hit it with this thing. There we go. So as you can see, it spins freely into space. So it basically makes it a large ship, but without all the properties of a large ship. So if you were to put a power source on here and a gyroscope, I don't think that's going to stabilize it. I mean, it might. We can literally check it out right now. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have the properties of a ship, so therefore a gyroscope on it doesn't seem to stabilize. Well, it seems to have stabilized it when it comes to, let's see what a thruster is. Oh yeah, I mean, it has all the properties of a large ship, which is kind of, I don't know, that it seems like it's cheating a little bit, because then I'm basically just building a large ship rather than building a space station in space. But it'll make sense for them to have thrusters and everything like that to maintain their stability and craziness, especially when we start getting planets involved. But, I mean, like I said, overall, that means if you're not building it on a solid surface like an asteroid or something, like, more or less like this, it's not going to be solid. It'll move. This won't move at all. It's cool, but it's slightly frustrating as well, because there's one other thing about that. And let's say, you see this block here, and this is kind of going to get really annoying for people who actually work in creative mode to make stations and whatnot, which is going to be frustrating for me as a station I'm working on. So let's say I cut that piece out by accident. Now the problem is I can't reattach this because it's now considered its own block. It does its own thing. It'll freely move, which is frustrating to say the least. You either have to delete the entire thing or you have to reattach it with merge blocks, which is kind of, I don't know, it's slightly annoying, but I mean, it's something we can, I hope they will fix, or at least make it do, I don't know, do something different, because I don't know if that's gonna really help out at all. But thank you guys for joining me on this one. I am Red from the Senmo Robots crew. Always remember who you are and what you are. Don't go causing any trouble out there in those crazy galaxies. And always remember, that sun is fast. Holy crap. The sun is your friend, and solar panels are going to have their own use now, or are going to have a more limited use now, since the sun will not be stationary, which I really enjoy. Bye, guys.
Oh, that was really cool, man. That was a trick. Where'd that guy go? Look at you, dude, you get down. Okay, look at this guy. He's getting by himself. You can do it for a 5.